Hey guys, it's Eli Baraty, and today I'm going to be talking about how to read the amount of spin. I think there's a big mistake or misconception where I don't know how to read spin, a lot of people say to me, and that is the wrong word. If I go like this, okay, if you're a local league player and above, yeah, if you're someone Joe Blogs off the street, a bit different, but everyone, I'm guaranteeing, every one of you who's watching this video knows if I do this, I'm putting side spin on the ball. If I do that, I'm putting top spin on the ball. If I do that, I'm putting backspin on the ball. So generally, it's not that you can't read spin, it's that you can't read the amount of spin. So today I'm going to teach you how to read the amount of spin on the ball, and then hopefully that will upscale your game very fast. So, by the way, please be aware this is going to be a two-section video. So this is going to be part one, and then we'll follow up with part two. Okay, so the first thing I want you to be aware of is the marker on the ball. If you can see the marker on the ball, naturally there isn't a lot of spin on the ball. If you can't see it, it doesn't always mean there isn't a lot of spin. But if you can't see it, it can mean that there's not a lot of spin. If you can't see it and there's lots of spin, sometimes just the marker is facing the wrong way. So just be aware of that. If you can see the marker hovering around, you know there's not a lot of spin. Tip number one. Tip number two. This is where a lot of players really fail to watch the wrist. They look at other stuff, other elements, which we're going to discuss in a minute, but they forget to look at the wrist. Is the wrist snapping or is the wrist locked? If the wrist is locked, you can get spin, but you can't really get maximum amount of spin or a lot of spin. So be aware and notice, is the player snapping the wrist or are they locked and just moving the arm? If they're snapping the arm and moving the wrist, then they're going to generate lots more spin. Let's have a little quick look. This is me. Without the wrist, actually, you guys try and see if you can see the difference. Did you see the difference? The third one, I snapped my wrist, which allowed me to generate lots more spin. Tip number three is trying to be aware or noticing where the person has contacted the ball on the rubber. If they're doing a backspin ball and they contact the ball in this section, then they're going to naturally generate a lot more spin or potentially generate a lot more spin depending on the movement of the arm. The higher up they go, the less amount of spin they're going to be able to generate. So if they're going to contact the ball in this area, I guarantee you there will be a lot less spin than if they manage to contact the ball down here. So you want to, that's another little thing you want to just be aware of, not just as a receiving player, but also as a person who is producing the spin. Where are you actually contacting the ball to generate the spin that you require? And this is not just for backspin, it's also for side spin or top spin, but the contact points are different. I'm going to just demonstrate with backspin. I want you to try and have a look at the contact point. I want you to try and have a look at my wrist. Is my wrist snapping or is it locked? And try and work out yourself which one's got lots of spin, which one doesn't have a lot of spin. Okay, so hopefully when you watch over the movement of the stroke, you'll see the different contact points. Now, it's very difficult for me to really get the ball to contact down here, so be aware the heavy backspin balls will be generally in the middle of the bat, and the ones that don't have that much spin will be higher up. So I'll just show you one more time. That one doesn't have a lot of spin, and that one has a lot more. So it's the same kind of movement, but different contact points, which makes it very hard for the opponent to see the difference with the technical aspect and also where the ball is contacting, which therefore makes it hard for them to make the right decision. Should they spin up or should they spin over, depending on what they receive. Okay, so obviously we're not all professionals. We try our best. It takes practice, so please just be a bit patient. Try and experiment a little bit here and there. So those are nice 3 little tips for you to be aware of how to read the amount of spin rather than to just know what spin it is. And hopefully that will help you also with receiving serves. When you see someone doing a pure side spin serve and you've seen that they haven't moved their wrist, then you know there's not that much side spin, which will help you to get the serve back. Or if you see them snapping the wrist and you can see maybe you can't see the marker on the ball, then you know, okay, there's lots of spin on this, I need to adapt and change. So those are 3 key elements that I've helped you out there. I'm going to go into part 2, which I'll give you another 3 key elements that I want you to be aware of to help you with reading spin. Again, thank you for watching. Please keep hitting those like buttons and invite people to subscribe and share the videos. I really appreciate it. I'll see you on part 2.